All right, here we have another, what do you want to call it? A folk story, a Jewish folk story. So the story goes like this. Once there was, it could be that it's true, but you'll see, you'll judge for yourself. Once there was a, one second, yeah. Once there was a town in Poland or whatever. It used to be that in Poland, in these places, there used to be like barons or grafs or whatever you want to call it, and they were like kings. They owned land, and they had their own little militias, and nobility, or they were granted from the king. However it was, in any case, they were like kings in their own little area. So once the king or the baron, whatever, he was approached by a one of his priests who was a Jew, but had changed his religion. He converted to whatever is Christianity, whatever there's in Poland. I guess Poland is a Catholic country. So usually Jews that change the religion, usually either they don't know what they're doing, they just don't know what Judaism is, or they hate Judaism. They hate it. It's just too demanding or too whatever it is. Or they see things that they don't like. They see people they don't like, whatever it is. But they have an agenda. They've got a what do they call it? A vendetta. Oh, so he went to the king, and he said to the king that the Jews are evil people. The Jews hoard all the money. The Jews are thieves. The Jews are this. The Jews are cursing you. The Jews are this, and you got to get rid of the Jews and take all their money. So the king said, "Listen, I don't know. I mean, the Jews are pretty good. They pay their taxes and everything like that. They don't make any trouble." Says, "Yeah, but they steal from you. They're this and that." So finally, it ends up that the king agrees to. The king agrees that there should be a debate, and this priest, this how do you call it, wayward priest, says that if the Jews don't win this argument, that they have to leave the town or leave the country, what it is, and all of them, they can only have the clothes on their back, and you can give them, a few loaves of bread or something like that, but they all have to get out. So the announcement came, and it was like a lightning and like a bomb in the middle of the nowhere, and the Jewish people were just like struck. They couldn't understand what was going on, and they had the thing is, you had to come and debate against this, priest Stephan, whatever guy's name is, Stephan. So they didn't know what to do. So the simplest person in the congregation, he was there. They were all the rabbi announced. The rabbi announced that they have to fast and pray for an answer. And the simplest person in the congregation, according to one version, somebody just came in from the outside, or he was the janitor, whatever it is. So he saw everybody praying, and he understood what it was. He asked somebody what it was, and they said that somebody has to debate against the priest. And everybody's afraid to do it because the priest was very clever. He knew a lot of Torah. He was very clever. And not only that, the thing was all slanted. If you disproved, Christianity, then you were in trouble. You were in trouble. If you said something against their religion, they could just burn you at the stake for heresy or for whatever it is. So you had to walk on a very thin tightrope. So this simple Jew, the janitor or whatever, the stranger, he went over to the bookcase, and he took out a book and looked, and he put it back, and he said, I'll debate. So the rabbi said, "Oh, come on, please sit down." He said, "No, anybody else wants to debate this guy? I'll debate him. If I win, good. If not, then just say that I pushed my way in. I threatened everybody that I was going to, do something, and, and I pushed my way in. We'll see." They said, "Okay, you haven't gotten any chance." So he goes in to the debate. Here's the big day of the debate, and the Jews are sitting on one side, and the non-Jews are sitting on the other. The non-Jews are like 20. They've got the Jews outnumbered 20-1. It's a big huge room, big auditorium, and the baron is sitting on the front. And the baron says to the Jew, "You are going to debate against what is it? The priest Stephan." Said, "Yeah." Said, "You think you know enough to do?" "Yeah." Said, "But I think that because I was challenged, so I have the right to ask the first question. So the Baron looked at the priest and said, "Yeah, this guy, we knew who he was. It was a simple guy, nothing." So, okay, my question is: it says in the Chumash, in the 5 books of Moses, in the book of Genesis, that Jacob saw the ladder and he said, "This is a holy place, and I did not know." Ani lo yadati. What are the words ani lo yadati? What does it mean? So he said, ani lo yadati. What does it mean? So the priest said, "I didn't know." So the simple Jew said, "I want to ask you again. What did you say? What do those words mean? Ani lo yadati." Says, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. You hear? You hear? The simple Jew says, "Excuse me, what did you say? What does the word mean?" Said, "I didn't know. I didn't know, you deaf idiot, you fool." The simple Jew turns to the Baron, says, "See, I asked him a simple question. He doesn't know." He said he doesn't know. So the Baron said, "Doesn't know? Take him out and have him burned. Take him out and have him burned. What are you bothering me for with the stupid? You're the one that's the stupid one." He says, "No, Your Majesty, no, man." He takes him and they threw him into a fiery furnace, whatever it is. They chop his head off and they just, all the Jews are happy. They go to the Baron and they're kissing the Baron's ring and they say, "Thank you very much for being so gracious, and we'll continue being your loyal servants." And instead of them, they go back home and they take this Jew on their shoulders and "You saved us, you saved us. What a big..." And they said, "But tell us, how did you think of such a genius thing? How did you think of such a genius thing that he would say the words, 'I don't know'?" He said, "I'll tell you." He said, "I saw everybody fasting. I saw everybody praying. They said you have to debate against this priest. I didn't know what to do. So I took out a book. I prayed to God that he would send me some sort of an answer. I took out a book from the Chumash, from the library in the synagogue, one of the books, and I opened it up to this sentence, and it says, Ze Beit Elokim v'ani lo yadati. This is the house of God, and I didn't know." And it says ani lo yadati, and I looked in the Yiddish, and it said ich nicht gewusst. I didn't know. So I thought to myself, wow, this person who's translating this sentence into Yiddish, he must have been a big Jew, big genius, if he's the one that was assigned to translate the whole thing. And he himself says he doesn't know. If he doesn't know, then for sure that apostate doesn't know. In other words, the man was just so tremendously simple, right? He didn't realize that the translation was just translating the word. It was translating into Yiddish. It was Yiddish translation. It was translating the words. Ani lo yadati was translating, "I didn't know," in Yiddish. Ich nicht gewusst. I didn't know. But he thought that the translator was saying he doesn't know. He says, if this person doesn't know, for sure that evil apostate doesn't know. So it ended up that because of his simplicity and his prayer to God, God answered his prayers and the Jewish people were saved. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning.